Say, man, you're in a privileged position right now. You're in a place to be. Matter of fact, a place to G with the one and only S&OOP. So what you gonna do now? Turn that shit up and let it bang.
Everybody that you fight is not your enemy.
Trenches.
And everybody that helps you is not your friend.
Free time. Nico Trenches, we train
And
online
that's what life
D
is.
line. Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you see that 45, keep your nose on the inside. Better punch something, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3 10 and 110, they some real hogs. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws. Good grades, good feet, man, he got it all. I said a crazy he a snatch something. Real aggressive jump, said he tryna grab something. If the old don't shoot their hands, you better jab some. You better stab some.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why don't you take your
to the
pants off?
pros, get it in.
My balls are hot.
If you ain't watching film, you ain't trying to win. If you close the beat gap, then you gotta spin. If you get around the edge, then you gotta bend. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. Where the lineman at? Where the lineman at? D tackle, do your dance. D ends, do your dance. Center, do your dance. Guard, do your dance. Tackle, do your dance. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at.
Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not going to happen. Tell me it's going to fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, TKB. Welcome to Bushleague Sports, episode 20, Dad Bods Win Championships. I don't know. I like to think I'm a bit of a specimen. We'll see what the boys say when they get up or not. We'll determine that live. But I'm stoked to be here another week, episode 20. Can't believe we've been doing this 20 weeks in a row, basically, at this point, getting into all kinds of things. NFL, I know I got the CFL jersey today, but we'll be chatting all kinds of NFL, getting into a little bit of winter sports with my co-host, Trav. We'll have a special guest from Shredding Sassy coming on today, Jacoby, one of the team members over at Shredding Sassy. Get into all kinds of things that's going on with the Free Ride World Tour pick'em, maybe a little UFC, a little bit of hockey, a little bit of whatever. Who knows where the hell it's going to go, as always. Full of Bush League takes, and we might start with one right out the gate. Let's see what my co-host is up to this morning, baby. How's it going? How you living? What is happening, brother? How are you?
Are you going to bring me up? Dude, thanks, man. Dude, I am doing great. Good morning, dude.
Frosty this morning, but we'll take it.
Ooh, I'm frosty, man. Feeling frosty this morning as well. What'd you drop? You got the Kansas City mug?
Right,
clearly.
You're going to the bowl.
Clearly a bandwagoner right now, man. I thought you were a Broncos fan. I mean, you're not going to catch me. You're not going to catch me with a Baltimore Ravens mug, dude. You're not going to catch me with one.
That's fair. That's fair. I've had this for a while. It's a beautiful color scheme. I've had it for quite a few years. I'm just collecting them and then putting them into the repertoire. It's what do you mean? You got to roll it. I figured I'd pull it out instead of the Broncos. These are the boys going to the championship. Broncos didn't do a gosh dang thing this whole year. Russ Wilson, get the heck out. So let's see what happens. And the coach, get rid of the whole organization. Restart.
They haven't said that they're getting rid of Russ yet, right?
No idea.
I think the coach, I think Peyton's kind of saying, "Hey, Russ can't run my offense. He's not smart enough to run my offense," and that was the issue. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's like such a debate for me because like I watched him just not know how to manage a game clock and like give the Patriots a win. They're the worst team in the league. You could run the clock out, but no, let's give the Patriots I think they're both not good, and I think they should both be gone. And I've said it many shows. It's insane that they spent any picks on either of those dudes just to fold the organization. But who cares about the Broncos? They don't matter.
Very true, man. We're in the NFL playoffs right now. Broncos and Steelers are nowhere to be seen. Man, I wanted to show you my shirt here. I got the Cell shirt. This right here is a shirt going around in California. It's been going around for a little while, man. John Fisher, the owner of the Oakland A's, the community base in Oakland was really trying to get him to sell. He's looking to move that franchise to Vegas, like the other Oakland franchise has done. being a Giants fan, in a sense, San Francisco Giants fan, my wife's the local area. Even Giants fans want Oakland to sell, want Fisher to sell the team so it can remain in Oakland. But, it's not looking good for the A's. But, still got to rock the sell shirt.
I like it. I was going to say we're matching. We're green. We're rolling. But obviously, title of the show today, Dad Bods Win Championships. You got to love to see it. Mahomes getting to yet another one, 6 AFC championships in a row, going to his 4th Super Bowl in 6 years. The guy's just absolutely ripping. You love to see it. And he's been on a roll. But it's funny, the NFL posted a little picture of him the other day. And in the dad bod, right? He's got the man tits. He's got the gut going. It's pretty funny. So like he would play back. He's like, "Why you got to play me like that, NFL? What the heck?" And then I think he was firing back with a couple other comments of like, "Man, I got kids. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like it's dad bod mode." So it's been pretty interesting to see that. And shouts to I guess the People magazine. That's who I pulled this clip up from. But yeah, no, it was pretty entertaining to watch. I was like, that's what we're naming the show, Dad Bods Win Championships. Like I said, I like to think I'm a bit of a specimen, but who am I to decide for myself?
So it is 100% true. Look at Brady's run and look at those pictures of Brady, man. It's the exact same thing. I mean, I would say Mahomes is probably in a little bit better shape looking than Brady was. Brady brought those Super Bowls to New England and potentially in that one to Tampa Bay. So maybe it's true. Maybe it's true.
What do you think the TB12 or the Mahomes workout regimen is? Is it just work out less and fucking eat healthy and get good rest, or what is it? Because I mean, they're not looking like specimens like everybody else. And if you really sit down and think about it, like one thing I've said for a long time is you see so many dudes that are just snapping their Achilles, snapping their tendon, blowing. It's like, are these guys like literally too jacked? Like, and it's an honest question because like, do they need to do more yoga? Like, why is everybody just snapping their ligaments and snapping their tendons? But then you see a guy who's kind of half out of shape, like Brady or Mahomes, literally almost never injured. And like, and it's like, is there something to this? Like, yes, these people are at peak athleticism, but are they also at peak ready to break because they are so like pushed to the limit? And it's just a question I've wondered about for a while. And then you look at a guy rolling around with the dad bod like that, barely ever injured, and you're like, I don't know, like maybe he's not as strong, but maybe he's a little more pliable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a fair take. Not too sure how accurate it is. I'm sure that
it's based off nothing. It's based off our own science. Like it just comes out of my brain. So it's absolutely based off anything, zero backing it.
So looking at both offenses, one thing that both Brady's offense did and Mahomes' offense did is they managed the ball well. They held the ball for long periods of time. And you could see it in this last game where in the first half of the game, Chiefs had the ball for 20 of the 30 minutes of the first half. You know what I mean? You hold the ball, you win games, right? And that's what the Chiefs have done. That's what the Patriots did in their day. And I think that, yes, it's on the quarterback, but it's also on the OC, the coach, and designing an offense that works with each individual quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, it obviously helps that they're just good and they know how to manage, like you said, manage the ball, evade. I mean, Mahomes, there's a lot of times where you can say like, okay, obviously you need a good offensive line to be able to have that time in the pocket. But then you get a guy like him who seems to always squirm out of that first tackle. So it's just impressive to watch. I wouldn't say Brady was anywhere near as good at squirming out of the tackles. I don't know. I think he just had a solid offensive line and quick decision making. But Mahomes he's got that extra little layer to him. And again, I joke that this is the one matchup that nobody wanted to see. Like, did anybody want the 49ers and Chiefs? I don't think so. I think everybody wanted the Chiefs and Lions or the 49ers and Ravens, like what people were thinking, or even the Ravens Lions. This is like the one matchup where I'm like, did anybody want this? I don't think so.
Hold on. So one little disagreement there. I bet you the Niners wanted it hard because 3 years ago, and Niner fans. Yeah. Well, no, even Niner fans, right? Redemption on the Chiefs for, what happened in the Super Bowl 3 years ago, Jimmy G versus Patty Mahomes. Patty Mahomes, they beat the Niners in the Super Bowl, right? So, so this will be a little redemption for the Niners if they can bring it home.
When are you getting video redemption? You got a new MacBook coming? You're like freezing up every 5 seconds. Right now you look like this. You're talking. but you're frozen like that on the screen. Just wondering when we're dialing up from Bushleague to pro.
Yeah, so I have one on order right now, and hopefully it'll get here in the next couple of days. An M2, I think it's called. No, it is. It's I don't know. I talked to our editor over at Shredding Stats. He's like, brother, you got to get a new one. And I know that we've been having issues, but yeah, it's not cheap. Not cheap for a new machine. So
yeah, definitely not cheap. I could just your machine just can't keep up with the video outtake. It freezes all the time. I know for me, my next level is to get a nice camera and upgrade my video quality to like 4K, which I have the computer power to do. But no, I just razzing you because I'm like, oh, you're freezing a lot this morning, baby. So my audio, it'll probably make it so I have to re-edit the whole video before it can go up, because that's usually what happens when your audio and your video separates. It won't let me upload it after.
It's
and
so
I have
interesting
to
that it does that.
Redo the whole thing after. I have to go through and like cut those parts out and stuff. So it takes my work from 3 minutes to like 4 hours.
Well, thanks for I mean, you can just fire me. I know we have somebody waiting in the wings right now.
No, I would have nothing without you. I just got to get
you can pick them up. Pick them up, man. Pick them up. Anyway, yeah, dude, we'll get that locked down hopefully in the next week, and have the new device up and running, and hopefully that'll work out a little bit better. The whole point of
it might be too good. We might no longer be Bushleague Sports then. Your video quality be too good. We'll have to go Pro Sports.
Yeah, I need to get it dialed in. This will be only for streaming and podcast, so we'll get it working. But hey, let's pull back to the game real quick. I want to finish on a few thoughts of the Chiefs real quick, because I mean the Chiefs defense. This is a different Chiefs team than we're used to. Their defense coming in clutch. The turnovers. I saw one of the Ravens red zone turnovers. Didn't they have two that game? I think there was 2 red turnovers that game. So that game could have went either way, really, if the Ravens could have converted in the red zone.
I mean, like so Zay Flowers had that fumble right at the goal line. So that one was one where, I mean, I was definitely a little bit harsh on Zay on socials at the time, because like he took that taunting penalty the drive before, right, which in essence probably cost them that touchdown in the end. But it was like, man, you're in the championship final. You guys are literally like already getting way too many penalties. What are you doing? Literally taunting the dude, like standing there, going over him, slam. You're getting a penalty for that. And expect like the way he did it wasn't just like a nonchalant kind of walk off either. It was like, dude, if you know the rules, that's 100% a penalty. Like, what are you doing? You just made a huge play. You're losing the game. What are you taunting about? Like, get to work. So then like a throw or two later, he makes that catch and he goes to dive to the end zone. And I get it. Like at the end of the day, huge play by Snead on defense. Like it's a highlight reel play without question. But at the same time, you go back and you look at it, and maybe I'm completely wrong with what I see, but they were 13 yards out. They got a first down at the 2-yard line, right? So like, why are you even doing that? Like, tuck the ball, protect it, get there. If you don't get in, you're first down 4 tries from the 2-yard line. Like, what? It just wasn't necessary. To me, it was a young kid trying to get the glory when you should be thinking about your team. Protect the ball, make the dive. If you get in, cool. If not, you have 4 downs from the 2-yard line. Like, so to me, it was just ridiculous to do that. And hopefully as a young player, he can learn from that, because it's not about you, buddy. It doesn't matter who gets in the end zone. And that extension to me was just him being like, I got to be the one getting in the end zone, because you weren't third down. Now the next one is kick a field goal. There, I get it. You're stop at the 1 or 2 yard line, first down for
100%.
Four more plays. So to me, never should have happened that way. And then obviously the pick into triple coverage from Lamar a little later in the game, kind of 50-50. Like his tight end or his player there literally was like, he goes and he like Lamar's looking for someone, and you watch the replay. His guy's like, I'm open, throw it here. And Lamar just looks and the guy. So it's like, yes, Lamar threw it to the dude, and that's his fault. But the dude's also like, I'm wide. He's got triple coverage. Don't signal your quarterback, I'm the dude that's open. You're in triple cut. No, because to me, that's usually a signal to a quarterback. Give it to me, right? Like in on the fly, I think a quarterback is going to trust his guy. If that guy thinks he's there, he's going to give him the ball, right? Because you're usually throwing the hand up unless you're like, hey, guy, I'm the guy. look at me over here. And so it's like 50-50. But basically my take from the game is Lamar is great and the Ravens aren't. Like, who else on the team did anything? Almost nobody. It's like, and I feel bad for Lamar because he's the entire team. So they need some better players around them.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
One sec here.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna bring Jacoby up too for a second and see what he's up to because I got a feeling I'll be running off stage here in a second. So
you're good.
In a sec, but we got our pal from Shredding Sassy over joining us. Hey, honey, 1 second.
Hey.
I'm live.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good. Oh man,
Dude, one thing. So Jacoby, we're stoked to have you here today. Hopefully, you can come up and do this more. Apparently, I'm fired because my tech isn't strong enough to handle the streams. So
it's been rough. I've been sitting here watching on and off, and it's just like, that little jitter going on. And
well, I do have a weird tick as well at the same time. I still have a tick.
Oh, maybe it's just that.
at least two, I know that it's not just me. At least someone else sees it. But Jacoby, thank you for joining us this morning. Sorry, guys, I had to mute for a second. My little girl just ran downstairs. I'm on dad duty this Thursday, so she's running around the house. But that's the joy of dad life, right? Like we said, Dad Bods Win Championships. So I'm in the podcast title this year.
I wouldn't even say you have that much of a dad bod. I mean, you seem like a more fit guy. I mean, I've got the dad bod going on.
That's what I was looking for. I said at the start, I feel like I'm a specimen, but my co-host will decide. I got the approval. You would think my co-host would boost me up, right? But we might be trading hosts here soon.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't think I'm quite as available as Sleep is over here, but I'm always happy to come up.
No, obviously, thank you for coming up. And I know there's some Shredding Sassy stuff we want to talk about, but you're a big football guy. You've played in the fantasy leagues and stuff with us. I kind of curious what your opinion of the game was there between the Chiefs and Ravens.
Yeah, I didn't really I watched like the first half of it on my phone. I was at a birthday party during that, but the whole party, like my friend's family was just like shouting like 1 hour to go because everyone wanted to watch the 49er game. So I was able to get home in time for the second game. But I am bummed that the Chiefs won that. You really need to smash that mug that you're holding onto there. Like as a Broncos fan, like that's just I don't see how. I'm a Raiders fan. Like I would never even allow that like in my house.
Yeah, well,
and you're over here drinking out of it.
The Broncos organization should take this as a smarten your act up, or I'll switch gears real fast because you guys ain't that. You made a good decision in 5-6 years.
No, you got to ride or die with your team, man, through the good and the bad.
Well, see, but I'm a show host, so I gotta show my allegiance here and there. I gotta switch it up a little bit. I gotta
go to the NFC then.
I gotta try and draw in some other MFers, Jacoby.
Yeah. You go to the NFC then and just like grab the 49er mug and then you're good. Like it's no problem there, especially from a Bronco fan. There's no beef between the Broncos and Niners. So
we did beat the Chiefs once this year, so that's worth something.
That is always
definitely
fun.
Is.
So did we.
Definitely is.
We didn't beat barely anybody else, but we'll take it.
And with the Chiefs, one thing that was kind of back this game that I think has been, a little down lately would be that Mahomes to Kelsey connection. I would say, the past couple weeks or even at the end of the season, maybe last week wasn't too bad. Kels just wasn't getting fired up, but yesterday, or not yesterday, I guess it's been a while now. Sunday they were, and I think Kelsey has the most receiving yards in the playoffs now. I think that was a record he broke. That's pretty rad.
Probably.
I know him and Mahomes broke the quarterback receiver completions yards that Brady and Gronk held. They broke that, which it's cool because they won 6 or 7 Super Bowls. Obviously Brady won a lot of them without Gronk, right? He was there for all of them. He had many different players throughout that decade or two that helped him do that. But Mahomes and Kels have just been so consistent 6-7 years straight doing their thing. Like I say, Kels has been kind of napping lately, and I don't know, T Swift must have given him a little boost pregame. He was like 11 for 11. Didn't miss a beat. And he made some pretty hard catches in that game. I know we got the stats there. Mahomes 1 TD, which went to Kels. Isaiah Pacheco ran his bag off, 20 carries. He's putting it in. And it's crazy to see Pacheco be the guy there. Like I always thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire would carry the ball for quite a few years, but Pacheco just comes in and he's dominant. So that's pretty awesome. And I'm just going to step away for 2 seconds, go see what my little girl's up to.
No worries, man. It was fun after the game. I don't know if you saw it, Jacoby, but after the game, Kels gets on the mic. You know, it goes to the owner, then it goes to Andy Reid, then it goes to Patty Mahomes, then it goes to Kels, and Kels gets on the mic and starts, you know, screaming Beastie Boys. Man, it was the best. It was definitely a good time, man. That dude's all fired up and ready to go win another Super Bowl by the looks of it.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, like, you know, he has been quiet, and you know, that could be a ploy that the Chiefs have just been using. You know, like save the Kelsey plays for the playoffs. You know, they've been just, you know, they didn't need them to get this far, and now that they're in the playoffs, it's like, all right, now we're going to break out all this part of the playbook that everybody forgot about, and so they can you know, catch the defense sleeping out there on them.
So I was at a party as well during that game. I was at a birthday party at Urban Air. It's like a trampoline park. I took my son. It was like a 6-year-old birthday party.
Sounds amazing.
It was pretty intense. But I was glued on the TV. It was skipping like I am now, but you know, you got to deal and figure it out. And that's what we did there. We stayed a little bit longer than the party just so I could catch the end of the game. I'm like, hey, just stay out there, go have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the way to do it. It's definitely it's always fun staying late places. I've got a great story about staying late from a game. You know, if you want to hear it, but
yeah, go for it. Go for it, man.
I don't think we ever say anything intelligent, so we may as well tell stories.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? So it was the Raiders Chargers game. Was it last season? Where it went to overtime. I was at Disney World, and like I was watching in the bar at the hotel. And so it's Florida time. So it was like nice and late. And then, you know, we're watching a super intense game. You're a couple Chargers fans there. I was there in my Raiders jersey. And like, we're having a blast, you know, just chewing each other's ear and whatnot. And the game went to overtime, and like the bar was closing because it was midnight over in Florida because the game was on West Coast time. But they like let us stay and like finish the game through the overtime. It was like me and one other guy just like standing there in the middle of the room while they're cleaning up. And you know, the Raiders could have left the Chargers in the playoffs, but you know, we decided to you know, kick that field goal at the end of overtime and knock them out. So, you know, I'm pretty sure they're going to be pissed at us for that forever. And Steelers fans will love us forever for that one. But that's like a core memory right there. It was like such a fun time, like watching that game.
I said that's awesome too. Yeah, like I said, it didn't really help them any, but it helped some other teams at the end of the year when they got it down. So it's always fun to see the teams battle it out for, you know, just for their own pride, more or less. They're not doing it for any other team, but
yeah, I mean, we made the playoffs, but you know, so we obviously lost the next game because, you know, whatever. But you know, we made it, so that was cool.
Love it. Yeah, and then like I said, it's just it's always cool to watch those games. And then I'm sad to see Lamar go out in Baltimore. Like I feel like he deserves it, right? You see so many. It's crazy how many good quarterbacks there are that aren't getting the chance or won't get the recognition simply because Mahomes keeps winning, right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's rough.
I mean, but it is what it is, right? Again, we saw the same thing with Brady. I don't know if they made 6 championships in a row. Hi.
Say hi. What do you like? What do you know about sports, honey? You come to say hi to Dad?
A flat mini.
A what?
A flat mini.
Oh, okay, cool. You guys just keep chatting because it's nothing. Get over the
no worries. Yeah,
I was just cartoons, but now she's my co-host.
That's all right, girl.
All right.
Yeah, come party with us. But hey, let's.
Come right back.
Okay, you be right back, girl. Hey, I think we should move over to the other game, which was pretty wild. I'll tell you what, the Lions-Niners game was. It was a shocker, man. It's totally unexpected. And just the way the Lions just dominated the first half. I think, what did they put up? 24 in the first? And
was it 24-7 or 27
or 21? It's 24-21.
Yeah, I think they put up 24 and the Niners just couldn't put a drive together. I mean, it was a mess. It looked like you know, both backs from Detroit were both running well. It was a crazy game. You know, as my wife's a Niner fan, and as that played out, I was like, hun, like, I mean, you want to go home? We were at a friend's house. I was like, do you want to go home? She was actually starting to get upset. And she's like, no, let's stick through. And that was a huge comeback. So it was pretty crazy.
Definitely not what I expected. Like I had kind of already chalked it up. Like, okay, the boys have probably already won this. Detroit's doing exactly what I want to do. Going back to like last week, sports betting is rigged. It makes sense. I would have won like $4,000 if the Lions won. With the 49ers coming back, I lost $60. So you can never win a bet. The world simulates a loss for everybody, no matter what. Like I might have been it was just like, here, oh, you're gonna win some money? Nope. Every time. Yeah. Like every time. Even so in DraftKings too, I had a lineup set and I had like all the studs picked out of like the first game. Like I had Kels and Lamar and some of the guys, and then I had a stack of like Gibbs and Goff and Montgomery. And going into halftime, I was winning like sports select. I was going to win like $4,000 on my parlay if that one. Going into half, I was winning $47,000 on DraftKings. At the end of the game, I cashed out $60 because of.
Oh my Lord!
So you're even. I hear a wash here.
Yeah, everybody who had the 49ers, lineup was able to crawl back in and get ahead of me, right? Where I was a guy who went really heavy Detroit, and at the end of the first half, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to win a tournament or two. I'm like literally cashing in because I did a bunch of like $100 or $200 like single entries where you're not playing against all the sharks. It's one entry, right? So like you get into a lot of those. Hold on a sec. Sorry, guys. Allison, I'm live.
No worries, man. No worries. But that's dope, man. I mean, it's actually lost all that money, but awesome that you could have that opportunity. Going back to the game, kind of thinking what turned Purdy around? What did Kittle say in the locker room at half? What did McCaffrey say in the locker room at half? Because, I mean, Purdy, we had a big conversation on Purdy in the Twitter space we had before the games. And, he was a different quarterback from the first half to the second half. The second half, he was making a ton of plays with his feet, like long runs, dipping tackles, dodging, and just came to play, came to move that ball down the field. Where in the first half, it really wasn't that way. So, just kind of your perspective, did Kittle get after it in the locker room as a leader on this team, or Calf, or what do you think? How do you think that went down?
I mean, go ahead, Jacoby.
I was going to say, actually, I saw the game. I think, at that point, Purdy knew the game was on the line. He's got to take it in his own hands and start running the ball since it wasn't, working out for, all the other stuff they were trying. But I also think it came back to the defense. The defense was just not there in the first half. And so I think they're the ones that really helped turn that game around.
Yes and no. Yes and no. So it was really funny because at halftime also on the Detroit side, they changed out their hands and they went out with rocks. So they no longer had hands. They had rocks on their hands and the balls were just bouncing off. Man, their receivers, their backs couldn't catch anything in the second half, man.
Yeah, there were a lot of drops, but they stopped the run game too, though. Like that's where they were losing was, Gibbs and Money just running all over them. And, they shut that down for the most part. And that really helped them as well. So that puts the pressure onto the receivers.
Or is the NFL just fully scripted and they're like, you guys need to have a 20-point lead going into half. Everybody's going to bet and then just drop a bunch of balls. Let's let the other guys win. We got to make some money, boys, if you want to get paid next year.
Jacoby, tell them how you feel, man. Tell them how you feel.
I don't believe that at all. I do not believe it's rigged at all. These guys, I've played sports my whole life. I know how these things go. You get out there, you get a new mindset.
It might not be rigged. That I respect it. But what if we're just part of a simulation? Like, what if someone?
I mean, all of life could be a simulation. That's fine. I'm fine with that theory. But
as long as we can agree on at least the simulation, like maybe it's
that's fine.
But maybe the overlords are just playing us like we're a game of chess at all times.
That's fine. Birds aren't real. Like that's cool. But
but I guess one thing that I would say though is and sorry, my kid's just yelling for absolutely no reason. But
dude, you're fine. We both have kids. You're good.
One thing I would definitely say though is everybody's like, oh, Brock Purdy came back. He did what? Did he? McCaffrey is the guy who ended up in the end zone a whole bunch of times, right? Like McCaffrey runs the ball in for 2 TDs in the second half. Okay, following me here, and I've been saying before, would Purdy do anything without Christian McCaffrey? Take 40 touchdowns off the board. They're not in the and I get it, but they're not in the playoffs. They're nowhere. McCaffrey literally had over half the team's touchdowns. Second half, McCaffrey 2 touchdowns. What the hell did Purdy do? Oh yeah, he threw a clear pick that bounced off of the Detroit guy's head, and Ayuk caught it. That's not. And they're like, oh great, 40-yard. That was a freaking interception. The worst throwing ball directly at the defender that they got the luckiest in the world. It literally bounced off his face, and Ayuk was like, oh. You're like, yeah, 40-yard. It was clearly a pick, and a normal man would have caught that, and we wouldn't even be having this discussion. It was a pure fluke.
But slow down, though. I mean, look at that point in the game where the 49ers needed to make something happen. They were getting smoked. That was the start of the comeback that the 49ers needed, right? So, yes, that was a long ball, right? You know, that was a long ball. It was only Ayuk and the defender. I can't remember who the defender was.
And the defender. It was literally
they had to take a risk. You know what I mean? He had to take a risk. It was an overthrown ball. But the way that Purdy opened the game up using his feet, without McCaffrey, they're not winning. Without Purdy opening the game up with his feet, they're not winning either. They're losing the game 3rd and out. So there's no doubt that Christian McCaffrey is, you know, one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league right now. No doubt in my mind. Do I still think they're a playoff without McCaffrey? Sure. Are they a Super Bowl team? Probably not. You know, it is what it is. And that's the power of these players in the NFL. We've talked about it all year. NFL running backs don't get the amount of respect they deserve from a financial aspect as the quarterbacks do. And, you know, hopefully that changes.
Well, and I think that ruins the league a lot because you see guys like Le'Veon Bell, Dalvin Cook, stuff like that, they're literally in their prime, and then they're basically kicked out of the league because it's like, well, it's time to pay them. And then you see all these teams I think it's ridiculous because they're diluting their own sport by doing it. Sure, you don't want to pay them. Sure, you're billion-dollar franchises. And if you literally kept the good running backs and you paid them, we would have way better football on the field week to week. Like, we just would. End of story.
It's a tough argument. You know why? I think why is the question. Why wouldn't ownership want to pay their running backs more to get a running back like McCaffrey, right? If the Broncos can pay a running back like McCaffrey, why wouldn't they to come there? I mean, there's just kind of a larger question there overall.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, I got nothing against Purdy. Just it's hard for me to say like, oh, he's elite. Like his longest completion was bounced off the defender's head. And again, he's made a lot of good plays. He's made a lot of good plays at the line, and he's done his thing. So I'm not sitting here beaking. He's better than me. He's probably more of a specimen than Mahomes or any of us as well. But just I don't know, man. It's one of those weird ones where it's like, yeah, right on, they went and did it. But I just cannot believe Detroit blew that after the run they've had all year. And I would have loved to see them in the Super Bowl. It would have been good for the NFL, I think, to have, you know, them playing there in that game. And in the same breath too, before I forget about it too, like how I'm beaking that bounce off of the Detroit player's head and going into Ayuk's hands. We didn't even talk about it in the Baltimore game, but Lamar threw that one pass up. It got deflected. He caught it himself and ran it for first down. I was like, they are winning this game. This man is the entire team. Because like I'm pretty sure before last week or 2 weeks ago, I said Lamar's the entire team. He's a running back. He's a quarterback. If he was the receiver, they would win. And then at that moment, I was like, oh my God, he's the receiver. They're gonna win. But they lost. But I was like, man, he is literally every position. This guy can catch the ball, throw the ball, run the ball. He's the whole team.
And I did see that play. That was fantastic. It's not the first time it's happened. Yeah.
And there was like, everybody's like, that's the greatest play. And I was like, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I forget who did that. That happened to someone like years ago, and like they ran in for a touchdown. Like he threw a touchdown pass to himself, basically.
Yeah, I remember that. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but I definitely recall that happening like only 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it's somewhat recent. Yeah, no, and Purdy, I agree. He's like not the most elite quarterback out there. You know, it is team sport. But he does stay cool like throughout the entire game, and I think that's one of his big advantages that he has, is that he doesn't like seem overly emotional, like no matter what the situation is. And you know, him running the ball, it does help. Like you can't be a statue in this league, otherwise you're going to lose. So
well, and for the NFL too, I guess they're off the hook now, right? Because the Ravens didn't make it, so the color scheme for the Super Bowl logo, it doesn't match. If they would have went 3 years in a row, we might be debating the simulation and going back to rigged. But you know, it seems like they swapped it up. But I'm telling you, they were just baiting everybody all year to bet it. And then, like I said, they gave like the least likely outcome of them all because nobody wanted this matchup except for the teams and their own fans.
No, you were saying that before. Like I was team NFC the whole way once some teams in the FC went out, just because I'm not going to root for the Chiefs ever. So like there's that. But
what kind of party is going to go on in Vegas? That's going to be a good one. I think obviously first Super Bowl in Vegas. I mean, it's not going to be the first championship because shouts to the NHL. They'll get Vegas Golden Knights, obviously the first professional franchise to be in Vegas, and they took home the cup, just in a recent year or two here. So the city's already enjoyed the glory of a championship, and obviously no Raiders in it, so it's not like they could win this championship, but it's going to be a big event, like having the Super Bowl in Vegas. I'm so interested to see. You already see the Super Bowl posted every week about like the stuff from the Sphere, right? They got different graphics playing on the Sphere and stuff. I want to say the Sphere is like, it's $600,000 to rent it for a week or something like that. To have your, and it's probably not even 24 hours a day. It's probably a period of the day, but to have your advertisement on the Sphere for a week, it's $650,000 or something like that, or $200,000 a day. Obviously the NFL probably has like some huge deal with it, but there's going to be all kinds of cool graphics on that Sphere all week. There's going to be all kinds of wild parties going on in Vegas. And I'm just really interested to see like what kind of a halftime show do we get, because you would think LA has a pretty good opportunity to put on a hell of a halftime show. That's where they produce all kinds of crazy stuff. But I think Vegas too is going to have some wild theatrics. And I'm guessing you're going to see all kinds of stuff happening at different hotels down the strip and things like that. And a part of me kind of wants to go. But we'll wait till Bushleague Sports is huge and someone pays our way, because otherwise
we're going to say good luck getting a room.
I'll just go stay at
I'll
just go stay at that Pink Flamingo or some sketchy thing off the side.
So looking at the final, what are your predictions? Jacoby, TKB and I kind of talked about our predictions early in the year. Who was your pick at the beginning of the year to win the Super Bowl? Don't say the Raiders, because we know that's not true. But who was your pick at the beginning of the year? And then, what are you thinking about this game?
I never really made a pick, like an official pick at the beginning of the year. There was nowhere where I like wrote that down or anything. But, I was hoping, I kind of had my thoughts on the Bills, early on. I want to see them get up there. The 49ers were definitely up there because that's like my in-laws team, and they've been strong, recently. As the year went on, I was like, I was rooting for the Lions. Honestly, like I really wanted to see them make it all the way there. So it's a bummer they didn't make it, but I get a Super Bowl party now, because if the 49ers didn't make it, then no one was going to throw a Super Bowl party. So at least now, I have somewhere to go to watch the game and not be by myself watching
and
it.
not have to cook food yourself as the in-laws.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's a win. That's a huge win when the in-laws cook the food. You're like, you tell the wife all year, I don't really want to visit the in-laws, but Super Bowl weekend, it's like, yeah, let's go, baby. And I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself. So Jacoby's wife, he never said that. I just make up bullshit as I'm on the air.
Oh no, I've got a great relationship with them, so it's all good. they throw great parties. So it's gonna be fun.
Nice. I love
that. TKB, what are we doing? Are we going Chiefs or Niners? Who are you going with in this game? What are you thinking?
Well, so if I'm just gonna keep playing into my bullshit Illuminati nonsense that I keep making up, I'm going to have to go ahead and say if history does repeat itself, which it may or may not, Mahomes in his 6 years, he was AFC Championship loss, Super Bowl win, Super Bowl loss. Now we're repeating AFC Championship loss, Super Bowl win. If history repeats itself, Mahomes should lose in the Super Bowl according to the career trajectory. So we shall see if that's the case. It is 50-50.
I love all of our crazy stats.
But,
first it was who was the faster bird? Which team had the faster bird? Which Panther or Jaguar could win in a fight?
We can't be giving the same nonsense everybody else is giving it. We're Bushleague Sports. We're not some boring ass thing. We're going to get new stats. We're going to make up our own stuff, and it's all probably going to be right in the end because we're like literally geniuses. Look at us.
Yeah, but maybe he two-peats against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. There's that stat as well that just like contradicts your first.
And it's crazy too that like for Christian McCaffrey, probably one of the best players in the league for at least half a decade. It's his first trip to the Super Bowl. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. But it's like I didn't think the Chiefs had the team to be there this year. If I'm being honest, I thought there was a lot of stronger teams, and I thought they would get upset. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna pick the 49ers to get the win.
So I think everybody kind of felt that way, and the Chiefs really turned it on here in the playoffs, and now they look. I don't want to say unbeatable. I mean, they won 17-10, and the Ravens had multiple chances to score in that game. So I don't want to say that that's beatable, but they look great. But Niners were my pick at the beginning of the year. I'm sticking with them. What was our bet at the beginning of the year? If my team wins the Super Bowl, was it you buy me a Lambo or something like that? I think that was the bet.
No,
so
the bet
hoping
was,
to cash out on that.
Both our
if we can.
teams made it to the Super Bowl, we'd go to Vegas and someone would pay. But now that that's off the hook, it's not happening. I don't know. Did we even make a real bet between each other? I can't remember what it was.
I think it was Lambo. I think it was Lambo is what we said, or at least, yeah, when Bushleague takes off, Lambo. I think that was what like the bet was for sure.
Yeah, I keep hearing him say Lambo, but he's also glitching really bad. So it's probably just the
I think
I don't think that's what he's saying.
I think we keep missing the part where he's saying Fisher Price Lambo. So I think I can deliver that. I'll get one. I don't know if you'll fit in it. Your kids might. But if that's what you were trying to say, Fisher Price Lambo, I think that we can probably get one.
All right, perfect. That'll work. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
I love it. Well, obviously, tons of NFL banter, basically 40 minutes, and we talked about 3 people. I'd love to get a little bit into whatever you guys got going on over at Treading Sassy. I know it's stop 2 for the Free Ride World Tour. X Games just went down and all that good stuff. So you guys got to fill me in on what's happening in the world of shred, baby.
So looking at the Free Ride World Tour, unfortunately, the second stop has been canceled. The next stop will be the third stop, which is back in Canada, moving back to the this side of the pond.
We got no snow either, so that'll be canceled.
Yeah, so coming over to this side of the pond on, I believe, February 13th, what we're doing in the Shredding Sassy Discord and what our community is doing is a free ride fantasy pick'em competition. You pick the riders, one rider from each class. That's snowboard male, snowboard female, ski female. If your rider podiums, you get points for fantasy competition. After all 6 stages, now we're down to 5 since stage 2 was canceled. After all 5 stages, if you have the most points, you're going to get some prizes. First prize is a Sassy merch pack. It's a hoodie, a t-shirt, a hat, and a lifetime membership to the social club. Being in the social club gets you a ton of sweet benefits. We got a bunch of coaches that have access to, and I think we're at about 30 brand partners right now. We just locked up Pit Viper as a brand partner of ours. So if you are in the social club, you get 20% off Pit Vipers. Dude, I got a pair right behind me. Let me grab them.
When speaking of that too, that's what the little glasses are on the little shredders you can see there. Obviously, you guys can go over to Twitter and hop in the Shredding Sassy Discord to find out everything they got going on with that free ride pick'em. But win that, you guys, whether you have a membership to your guys' Shredding Sassy Social Club or not, anybody can come in, enter through your Discord, and have a chance to win one of those memberships, which, like you said, is going to give them discounts to all kinds of different brand partners you guys have. Obviously, Pit Viper is a new big one, which is pretty cool. They're like a big thing in the NFT space right now. So you guys, you can play your cards right. You'll be mogging and ripping with that one, boy.
Yeah, I think that was a really good one to bring in. Jacoby's killing the Pit Viper memes right now. I know a lot of others are as well. It's been really fun to see the support and what we want to do.
Jacoby's fired out a few memes for us over at Bushleague Media too. So big shouts to you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll keep those rolling. I'm just like my creative juice is like started flowing again. I had a lull where I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's coming back. Like,
hey, yeah, man. I got about 100 different million assets we can put together. We can mix in some sassies. We can just take over the meme world. I know a big part of my thing with like the campsite scene and stuff is to like bring the sports, bring different characters together, do a bunch of stuff. So we'll definitely get into that. But I appreciate the memes you're making for both projects. But at the end of the day, just cool. So are they gonna like stop 1? I didn't enter my picks because it was canceled, and then all of a sudden they refired it up. So TKB got to 0 in round 1. I should get.
Like, me too. I put in my picks. I still got a 0, so we're good.
Yeah,
we're even.
But I would have picked right, so I should get a complimentary like or something. So what's gonna happen in stop 2? Like I made my picks, or are they just gonna fire it back up one day?
Yeah. So what we're doing is we are opening the picks 3 days before the stops. On February 10th, we'll make an announcement on X, Instagram, and the Discord that, hey, the picks are open. A new Google Sheet will be put out, and you can go in and make your picks for, it's going to say stop 3, but it'll actually be the second stop because stop 2 was canceled. And you can jump in.
Fire stop 2 back up, though, like they did stop 1, or no?
They may. There is a long lull between now and February 13th. We got 10 days. Who knows, man? They might be in Bear next week. I have no idea. They seem to just kind of do what they want from a free ride world tour perspective, but it's cool. It's a dope event, and
like I said, it's not really on them this year because just the whole earth, it's not really snowing. It's like it's one of those years we just don't have a lot of moisture cycling around, and you know, what do you do? I mean, whatever the hell they're doing, taxing us to death for carbon tax ain't working. So if they could just go ahead and give me back all my carbon tax money, that'd be great, because they're obviously failing the planet. Like, what are you doing? And it's also just, you know, might just so happen to be that every scientist in the world that's like, hey, it's actually the sun. Maybe we should listen. But either way, tax me to death. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But where there was snow this past weekend was in Aspen, Colorado, for X Games. We're X 2024. Man, we had some pretty dope watch parties in the Shredding Sassy Discord till late at night. Those events went pretty late, so I think I was in there one night till 1 a.m. watching men's super pipe.
Nice.
But some pretty cool results. I know Jacoby, you're a big Chloe Kim fan. She went back at gold. Winter X. I mean, she's the most decorated female snowboarder in super pipe, I believe. Just
okay. I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say in X Games. I was gonna say she surpassed Jamie Anderson. There's no way. Like, she's got
just a female.
Give her some years. Sure. Give her a few years.
I mean, I was just like, yeah, she's way too young to, like, Jamie Anderson's won at least like 10 times. I don't know, but that makes sense if it's super pipe, because she rips. She's absolutely a ripper in the pipe. That little lady, she's good.
And her and Red Gerard, like the last Winter Olympics, when they were just both out there, just absolutely killing it. Like I was just so stoked. I was just like just feeling it, just like these kids are the future right here. Like
it was cool too to see, like, you know, one of my idols, Ellis, who's, you know, I've been following along what he does, and you know, hung out with him a lot of times in Vegas and supporting his show and stuff over the years. And again, actually, big Red Dragons guy. I'm rocking the hat today, but it was cool to see him in the Winter X Games. Obviously, he's usually there for the Summer X Games, doing stuff with Tony and announcing skateboarding. So it was cool to see him doing the Winter X Games. And hope you're doing all right, Ellis. I know he had some heart issues at the tail end of the thing, and he looks like he's bouncing back. But it was cool to see him, just because, like, he's not really a winter sports guy, and he's a guy who I enjoy. He entertains the hell out of me. So it's cool to see him with Salema Masakela ripping it up. Salema Mabima Masakela, as Ellis will say every time. But I love his takes. I mean, he's one of my favorite people to host anything. I would love to, like, try to get Sal on the pod one day and then chat with him. That'd be pretty legendary. We should be working on that. We should be hitting up Sal all the time. Right here, I got to clip this after, but hey, Sal, we need you on the pod. We got to talk Shredding Sassy. We got to talk a little X Games and dive into what's going on in your world. I know I was at ACL in Austin, Texas, like a few years back, that concert, and Sal was there, and I was just like, he never answered me, but I was like in the DM, Sal, I'm at the concert. I'd like to have a beer with you. I'm not cool enough yet. Maybe one day he'll answer my
We'll
DMs.
get there. We'll get there. Yeah. It was pretty dope seeing him there and kind of what he had to say. I think this was his first time doing a Winter X, so it was pretty cool. That's for sure. A couple other highlights that I wanted to talk about, and sorry if I'm cutting in and out, but Nick Gepper. Nick Gepper is, you know, a US ski legend right now. He retired, I believe it was 2 years ago, maybe a little more. He was a freestyle guy, not a freestyle guy. Dude, why I'm losing my my train of thought here. Anyway, he switched over to super pipe. This was his first X Games super pipe. He took fourth. We shot a Thrash Talk podcast with him a couple weeks ago, and it's going to be dropping later this month. So really stoked to have him and kind of watch him perform well. So to learn more about him, we'll be having a podcast coming out with him really soon. And then another sassy guy, Shredding Sassy. I wouldn't call him a part of the crew or anything yet, but he was at our Shred Fest event last year, 420 in King Vale, Tahoe, and named Nate Houst. Nate Houst, he took 5th place in Knuckle Huck, and that was pretty cool to watch. And knowing that he was at one of our events last year, shredding it up in a sassy suit. He had a sass suit on, and he was in the event. So cool to see him come through. Wish he could have hit the podium, but it was just great to kind of watch him in a sassy suit, you know, kind of repping sassy, supporting us, and then at the X Games as well.
No, that's awesome that you guys have some shredding sassy community members that are literally in the X Games. Like it's like you guys are legitimately doing it. And speaking of Shred Fest, I know that'll be happening again this year, 420 in Tahoe. You guys will be doing your event. I don't know if the East Denver event's going on so much anymore. We can chat about that later, but I know Shred Fest is going to be a big one for you guys in Tahoe. And I know you guys will have all kinds of cool events and stuff. I'd like to chat with you guys about, maybe making it more than a day or so, but I know I'd definitely like to come down there and figure out a few things. Maybe you guys wouldn't mind having Bush League Sports come in and hang out, Bush League Media. It'd be cool to set up, maybe a roundtable talk around the cabin one night, have a good old banter, do a show. That'd be pretty fun. And then I got a couple ideas to maybe try to go live while we're riding. That's some logistics we'd have to work out. But I think if we could I was just had an idea of trying to be able to live stream a full day of shredding, right? I think something like that would be pretty cool if we could pull it off and have a couple guys mic'd up and someone following them with a cam and have a live cam, have the sound coming from the riders or something. I think it'd be pretty cool if we could pull something off like that and just live stream a whole day of shredding. Who knows? We might get canceled because I might get partying and who knows what'll happen. But it could be a good old time either way.
So I think that's a great idea, and we definitely need to set it up. For one, Bush League Sports has their stream game, the live stream game on lock, and haven't done that from a Shred Sassy perspective yet. So we definitely need you involved and included. What we want to do is do a couple shows from the event. So right now we have, I would say, 3 major events planned for the effort. On April 19th, we have a skate event happening in Auburn, California. The night of the 19th, we have our huge party. It's going to be an art party. There's going to be pros. It's going to be, excuse me, it's going to be absolutely insane. We're stoked. The sponsorship list is growing.
I assume Auburn's right near
yeah.
Tahoe.
Yep, right down the road. That would be a good place to set up shop and stay. But that's the art party is going to be. It's going to be off the hook. We got a gang of sponsors joining up. We got a bunch of events happening. We're going to have DJ. We're going to have food. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have booths. Hopefully there's some autograph sessions, some live art happening. So really stoked for that party. And then on Sunday.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you think people want our autograph by then or no?
Yeah, probably not by then. But maybe the week after we throw this badass party, the week after.
You just give it to them.
Sure.
You just say, "Here's my autograph." You just go start signing stuff. They don't have to
I'm
ask.
gonna sign a bunch of napkins and hand them out. And then 420 is going to be our shred event, which is at Kingville Mountain Resort. It's a train park. It's a tow rope park. Lots of rails and boxes and things to jib. So it'll be a fun little event there. And in that, we're gonna have DJs all over the place. We're gonna have seats. We're gonna have barbecues. We're gonna have it all set up, ready to go. We're gonna have fun contests that aren't all snowboard and ski related. Some of them will be 3-legged races, just silly stuff, toboggan races. We're trying to make it a blast for everybody, and that's what's going down that week. So I just mentioned the 19th and 20th. On the 18th, I want people to come in early. On the 18th, what we're going to do is we're going to get the community together and hit one of the local resorts. We're going to try to get a good number of people that are going to be involved, and then we're going to hit one of the local resorts together. And that's whether if we have 3 people or we have 30, we're gonna hit either Palisades, or we're going to hit Alpine Meadows, North Star, Sugar Bowl, Boreal, one of the North Lake mountains. We plan to hit that on the 18th. And then afterwards, kind of head out to the bar, all get to know each other. There's going to be other communities involved. I don't want to name the other communities that have committed yet, but we do have 2 or 3 other communities ready to go. So they're going to meet with us as well. And it's going to be a great experience overall. So the 18th, we're going to have that kind of free day of shred where we're all going to go shred, go hang out together afterwards. The 19th is going to be the skate event in Auburn, California, followed by the art party, where everybody's going to come, get to know each other. We're planning a Shred It premiere there, some live art, maybe some auctions. It's going to be off the hook for sure. And then Sunday is going to be our main event, the fest event.
Nice. No, I love it. I'm stoked to come down there for that. And obviously me and you have met in person, but get to meet up with Jacoby and some of the other Shredding Sassy team and get to hang out with you guys. It'll be fun to actually, link up in person. I'm looking forward to it.
Man, I wish I could go to Shred Fest so bad. I'm gonna be on a cruise that week. I'll be in Puerto Rico on 420, like getting off the ship, and we're not
That's
gonna make it back in time. So next year I've already blocked out April next year. Like I keep missing stuff, so I'm like, I told my wife, like, do not plan anything for April next year. Like we're not doing that because there's other stuff I want to do in April. So
no, I love it. I love it. And for anybody who's interested in anything Shredding Sassy and stuff has going on, like I said, you can hop in their Discord. The link right there is actually to my website. If you scan that QR code, there'll eventually be a link directly over to Sassy off my sports page there. But at the same time, too, you can also, if you want to join the Shredding Sassy Social Club, grab yourself a membership. They're pretty cheap. These little tokens here, they might look like some JPEGs if you don't understand the digital art world, but these tokens actually get you access to the Shredding Sassy Social Club. There's all kinds of different ones. I mean, people are sleeping. They're way too cheap right now, so I'd be sniping them up if I was somebody. Not financial advice. Looks like somebody might have a couple helmets queued up. Who's to say who that MFer is? But one of these tokens is not just a piece of art. It literally connects. That's how you get your 20% discount to Pit Viper. That's how you guys get access to these events and get to do all that premier stuff, is just by simply holding one of those tokens. You're part of the club. So make sure you guys check that out. And again, you can head up to this link right here if my finger's pointing to the right spot, and you'll be able to head over to my website. We'll be revamping that sports page in the next week or two, and should have a link directly over to Shredding Sassy Discord for you.
What's going to be great, TKB, is how we can integrate. I think that this is really good and a really great relationship that we're building with you guys here at Bushleague Media and Bushleague Sports, that we can integrate on these things and be an action sports brand. We need that distribution that you guys are building on your side. So really excited to continue to explore those channels, those avenues. And I think Shredfest is going to be a really great start to that.
Well, and a big one too for all, for everybody who's athletes and stuff like that too. Obviously, with my partner, Joel Bam Bam Mills and our online fitness company too, everybody through us will be getting free access to our online fitness memberships and stuff. And so if you're a shredder, skater, anything, staying in shape is huge, especially as you get older, to be able to stay active and stuff like that. So really looking forward to being able to give those fitness memberships out and hopefully get a bunch of Sassies hooked up with them too as well. And like I said, it's hopefully a great relationship back and forth. We can have all kinds of fun. I got a few ideas for some sports league stuff I want to build that you guys can connect to. And I know you guys have a few things that interest me that are pretty useful. And that's one thing I've long said with the Bushleague media side of the project is like, everybody keeps trying to do the same things when we should all be like working together. If you guys have something that's useful to me, what do I have that's useful to you? Let's do it instead of, let's both spend $100,000 on the same thing and then compete against each other. No, that working together and sharing is how we will all advance. As much as some people want to hold everything for themselves and don't see that vision, I truly think that the more we come together, the more people share, and the more we align the things that do align. There's always going to be things that don't align. We're different projects, but take those things that do align, work them together to see where we can go. And obviously pretty cool to see you guys having all the discounts and stuff you have. And that's something that I plan to do for other things. One day between Bushleague and Shredding Sassy, you might just be able to get a discount to the entire world. That's my theory.
I love it. No, it's great, man. It's great. And big things in the works. I know there's a couple other things that we wanted to hit on. And I actually want to throw something at you that is completely out of line. That's completely what we haven't talked about. And I do think you'll have a take on it. But I want to get over to hockey. Is that okay? I know we only have a bit of time left, but man, I got a couple more minutes. I want to get over to hockey and ask you a quick hockey question before we get off the air today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fire away. And then
all right.
Jacoby can run a few minutes at the end there.
Oh, perfect. So one thing, I had my first D-League roller hockey game the other day.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, man, I hadn't played in 8 years. Your boy put one in the back of the net, put a little offense, only went down a couple times, a little clunky, but it's D-League, so I can hang. And it was the perfect.
Figured you'd be in the D-League.
The perfect league for me to come back in and be a little successful in my first game. So be doing that on Tuesday nights now. So I'm stoked to kind of get back into it.
You'll be in the A-League by this time next year. You'll be ripping.
No way, man. They got some skill here. That's for sure. Okay. So I was at the Stars Capitals game the other night. Stars are up 4-2, 3 minutes left in the game. They pull a goalie. Oh, that's one. I see he's 9th of the year. That was pretty cool. I've seen Ovi score before live, but I just know he's coming down. He's coming up on Gretzky's record, which it's actually going to be hard for him to catch now only having 9 so far this year. I think he's got about 60 to go. It's going to be a little tough for him to catch now, unless he can really pick it up this year. And then
it was looking like he could do it in 2 seasons, but it's definitely looking a lot like 3 now.
And I think he's got to keep going. I think he keeps going until he does it. That's for sure. Whether it takes 2 or 5, I think he's going to play till he's 45.
And then you look at the standings; they're way down there.
Sure.
Yeah, and I could see him being a guy that gets traded in the next year or 2, like to make a playoff run at some point, and then kind of closes up his career. But I think we're getting close to the end of the Crosby Ovechkin era for sure. It's slowly coming, but yeah, they're not doing so hot this year. Obviously, Rangers, Hurricanes, leading that metropolitan division. Well, the Flyers right behind them, and then the Bruins just continuing to be dominant. And then Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's just right behind them. Panthers and Lightning, 1-2, right behind them. And somehow the Wings have fallen below the Leafs. I hate to see it.
So looking at Crosby, I think Crosby's still putting up good numbers. He's older, but he's still at a decent time in his career. But now this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So Ovechkin nets his 9th of the year. I think it's a 6-on-4. We had a penalty. And then later, they pulled their goalie again. They go to tie it up. It is, they pull their keep 6-on-5, and they put one in the net. But let me show you what happens. The ref loses sight of the puck. The puck is between Otter's pads. The ref loses sight, blows it dead, sticks his hands up. The dead signal, like, hey, puck's dead, right? So the ref puts up his puck's dead symbol, and then the puck squirts in the net. Everybody's cheering, ref goes, but ref blew it, puck's dead. So history, anytime that happened back in the day, that meant the puck's dead. Hey, I lost sight of it. I thought it was covered. Puck's dead. It's over. So they go converge. The refs go converge. And then he comes out and he said, the call on ice is a goal. And I'm like, you blew it as puck's dead. You held your hands up like this. You did not point to the goal. So how is the call on the ice goal is a goal? The call on the ice should have been puck was dead, because that's what you blew. Then it went up to Toronto, and Toronto came back and said, upon replay, because of continuous movement of the puck, the blowing the whistle dead is null and void. Because they were able to tell in Toronto that the puck was consistently moving between the goalie's leg pads and squirting into the net, the whistle does not count. So I think that is a very interesting because, one, I think I'm pissed being a Stars fan that they tied it up there when the ref clearly blew the puck was dead. However, the continuous movement rule is very interesting. Number one, it's interesting is that as long as the puck is still moving, a whistle doesn't matter. A whistle doesn't matter as long as it's still moving and it ends up in the goal. So I think that's good, because the good thing is we don't want to take away goals from people. Goals that are going in, we don't want to take them away because the ref loses sight. However, what's bad about that is that people are going to play through whistles and people are going to get hurt. It's going to lead to more injuries. And I think that I don't know when this continuous movement rule came about, because historically, when you blow the whistle, the puck is dead. That's when it stops. That's when it's over. So it was really interesting. Kind of wanted to get your take on it. And if you even knew about that rule, because that's something that I didn't know. I was like, what are you talking about? The ref blew the puck. I'm like yelling, like, hey, you blew it was dead. How can that be a goal?
Yeah, no, definitely. So like you're saying, like, oh, people are going to play past the whistle. I don't think that's the case, because if you play past the whistle and tap the puck, it's not a goal. So it's specifically for, like, if the ref loses sight of it and they can see, like, that puck was going in no matter what, like, because there's a factor too. Like, if it goes in a second later, the goalie might have reacted to make a save or something. When it's blowing dead, but that puck's already coming through, to me, it's the right play. Because why are you going to take a goal away from?
I agree with that.
From a human error. And my guess would be, I didn't watch the game, but I'm going to guess, even though the ref said no goal, I'm going to guess the 2 officials and the referees got together, probably said, hey, that did kind of cross the line without stopping it. So therefore, they can make the call on the ice, goal, no goal, between the 4 officials, come together, make that choice, right? And then now it goes upstairs. And upstairs, they're going to be able to see, like, when he blew the whistle, did someone tap the goalie? Now the puck moves, it's in the net. Well, that's no goal. But if they can see, hey, puck's moving, whistle, ref, it rolls in. I think it's fair.
So I like that breakdown.
You're sad because you're a Dallas Stars fan and it got tucked on you.
Hold on. The Stars won an OT, so the win's a win. However, yeah, I just thought that was interesting because again, historically, when you blow it dead, it's dead, right? The puck stops, play stops, everything happens. But I do agree with that if the puck is still moving, we don't want to take away goals from people because the ref is in a poor position to see where the puck is. I don't like the fact that they called it a goal on the ice after he blew the whistle dead. I do think that the call on the ice should have been the play was dead, just like a call on the ice is offside. Sorry, I just hit my mic there. Or a call on the ice is not offside, what they call at the time. And I would have been okay with Toronto overturning that once I had heard once I understood the rules better. And
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like if that ref who lost track of it, no goal, and you got another 3 officials that are like, no, I think they make the call on the ice, right? So just because the one guy reacted, it's no different than the NFL. When you see the refs stand together, sometimes they talk a little bit and then they go, hey, this is the call on the field. That's something that's been put into the game in the last 4 or 5 years. Refs are allowed to sit there, have a little conversation and try to get the call right because the call they make factors into that final thing. So I get what you're saying, but you have to give the whole on-ice team the chance to say, hey, this is what we think.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that response.
Well, then it's no different than, puck over the glass or some of those hits from behind. How many times do you see where they're like, 2 minutes for boarding, they get together and they're like, no, 5 in a game. They would be the same, being like, oh no, you can't give them 5 in a game because the guy made this first. No, they're allowed to. They're and move it along.
I appreciate that response, and I'm not that mad because the Stars came back and won. But I did think it was interesting at the time, and being at the game live, it was pretty crazy. It was cool to see Ovi score that goal. Glad the Stars won an OT. But just something I'd never seen before and was definitely interesting. So, hey, I thank you for your feedback. I got to run. I got another thing to head to. I'm liking these in the morning. I'm really liking these in the morning. Hopefully we can kind of work this out and keep it going.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's a little tough for me on kid day because she keeps kind of coming and hanging out. And obviously I want to be a dad, but I'm like, hey, you need to give me 1 hour. That's all I ask of you. So we'll be full in the game zone there too. And Jacoby, I don't know if you have any takes on UFC. I was just going to banter about UFC a little bit. We can get into that for a couple minutes.
Not any at all.
No, that's fair. I got a couple things to chat about there, but no, if you got a role, I thank you for joining us as always. It's been a good chat, and we'll see if your 49ers can get the dub and you can be the greatest first year co-host in the history of Earth, making the call right out the gate. Love to see it.
Love it. Hey,
next year we're gonna have to play some bets on our calls, I think, and put our money where our mouth is.
Would be a good move. Can't wait to get that Play School Lambo. Hey, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks all. See ya.
Thanks. Take care, buddy. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I have to say, Jacoby, thank you for joining me this week and hanging out with us and giving us a little bit of details on what's happening with the Shredding Sassy Social Club and everything, and helping me out with some of the memes. If you see any GIFs that are animated, sorry guys, kids chatting. Jacoby probably did it. So yeah, and my kiddo's yelling at me. She's got to go potty, so I'm gonna have to run here in 2 seconds. But if you want to take the mic for a sec.
Oh man, you're just gonna leave me here, huh? All right, that's all right. I'll talk about the squat shop. I've talked about more Shredding Sassy stuff. I've got that going on. So we just the squat shop was revealed today. If you're not familiar, you can earn squat points by holding Shredding Sassies, and we have a shop where there's raffles, there's auctions for physical items, digital items, experiences. So there was a restock over there today. There's some Pit Vipers in there, like we mentioned earlier, the new partnership. They're there under raffle and under auction. So there's a couple different ways to win those. There's some Crypto Dads assets in there. We got some Shredding Sassies on there, some more gear from Planks. There's some gloves. There's a beanie. We got a new Animal skate deck up in there as well. And you can win a call with Keith Gable, who is one of the hosts of Thrash Talk Podcast. So if you want to talk to him one-on-one, you can go, enter that auction and try to get a talk in with him, which I think would be dope. Keith is awesome, so I might actually enter that myself.
The podcast you guys produce and Sleeps on there, it's pretty cool. So that would be fun. Maybe the call will be just put me on the podcast if I win it.
That's actually the other experience on there is ask a question on the podcast. So
nice. I'll try to get the whole episode. I don't know if they'll give it to me or not.
I think it's a pre-recorded question that they'll edit in there. but you can make it really long, and that'll be a nice little chunk there.
Right on. Well, no, I appreciate you coming and filling us in on everything going on over at Shredding Sass. And like I said, make sure you guys go check out what they're doing. Hop in the Discord, and you can win all kinds of prizes. And congrats on the new Pit Viper deal with you guys. That's pretty awesome. So I'm stoked for you guys.
Yeah, no, that's a big one. Like I'm so stoked like that it's finally official. I've known about it for a week or so prior, so I get a little bit of information before other people. But it's like my sister, she's 20, she loves Pit Vipers. So I'm like, oh, tell your friends. Like if you want a discount, this is how you get it. And it's like a legitimate 20% off, which is pretty significant. So
honestly, like for the price of some of the memberships right now, you buy a pair of sunglasses or two, you might get your money back and just be in the
yeah. Exactly. That's actually what I did last year. I bought a helmet and goggles from Shred Optics at 25% off, and I saved more money on that transaction than I paid for the membership. So
that's awesome.
Like, it literally pays itself back. Like, you want ski gear, snow gear, like it's so legit. Like it's free. So
we'll have to have you back on in the future, and we'll chat about her a little more. And like I say, I appreciate you being here and bantering with us a little bit of snow sports stuff and helping me carry the show. I ain't nothing without you guys. So thanks.
Yeah, man, no, this is great. I love coming on when I can, so it's always hard for me. I don't have a lot of time, but
And I'll probably be wrapping up in a bit. So if you want to chat in a bit about all the gifts I sent you or something, I can hop back on and razz you.
Yeah. Hit me up. I've got maybe a half hour more where I can kind of hide at work before people start showing up and needing me. So
no, that's cool. Well, no, thank you. I'll chat with you in a bit on the back end, and appreciate you being here, Jacoby. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. And obviously, everyone, thank you guys as always for coming here and hanging out with me, hanging out with Trav and Jacoby, getting into everything NFL, NHL, a little bit of Shred and Sassy and everything they got going on. We also, one thing I wanted to chat about before I take off is a little bit of UFC. Obviously, we had Strickland and Duplessis go the distance in UFC 297 last week, which was pretty awesome to see. I mean, I'm a big Strickland fan. The guy grows and grows on me. It's funny seeing him like beat the Canadian government and that reporter the other week, because I'm pretty opinionated about what's going on in the Canadian government. So it was really awesome to see Strickland do it. So I was like, man, I want to see this guy win. He's like rooting for my country. But obviously a decision goes 50-50. I'm always one to say when you get a fight that's that close, like that one was, I find it hard to take the belt when it's like a basically even match. I just always think like you should have to defeat the champion to truly be the champion. But at the end of the day, I don't get to decide, and it is what it is. And he was very humble about it. So that's really cool to see. I know there'll be fight night happening next weekend, or I guess this weekend. It's the first now. So this weekend there'll be fight night happening. A whole bunch of different names on there: Drew Dauber, Randy Brown, Renato Moicano, a few other different characters. And then obviously Joe Fiver from VSP will be fighting the week after that. And then the big one coming up a couple weeks out, UFC 298, Alexander Volkanovski going at it again at his last two battles against Makachev, where he lost. Obviously, one of them I thought for sure. The first one I thought for sure he won. The second one was a clear loss. And then Paulo Costa, Robert Whittaker, Ian Gary. It's going to be a big lineup on that one. So it'd be really cool to see what they have going on over at the UFC and see that battle. Obviously, hope to see Volk take a big win and get himself back in contention there, because it's been a hot minute since he's got a dub. And like I said, I really think he won one of those two battles. But either way, we'll kind of chat about that on the tail end of those events and everything. And just want to thank everybody for joining. As always, big shout to Red Dragon for the hat and the gear. And just thank you guys, as always, for tuning in, hearing all our Bush League takes. I don't know if you ever learned anything, but hopefully you at least laugh once or twice throughout it. And just stoked to be doing this each week. And we'll be coming back at you again next week, tomorrow morning, same time. Can't wait to do it. Excited, stoked, and going to bring you all the horrible Bush League takes. Anyways, until next time, stay Bush League beauties. Appreciate you.
From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half reppin'. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. Tell them never question, dog, I'm sitting goat status. Eating chicken with my gin, smoking on some cabbage. Used to pedal on this
moment where you skate down the street and some shit for brains yells out of his window, "Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip!"
Rags and house shoes, they know how the dog do. Skinny, heavy pockets, the West OG. Came across the globe, say they don't know me. Been applying pressure from 8 to 24 like Kobe. Mr. Hall of Fame used to bend the corners with strollies. Had to lay the blueprint, they rolled out the carpet. Anything I wanna own, I got my own market. Blew this, blew that, everything beautiful. Still ain't sold my guns and I still ain't had to use them though. Was once a hard head, now I'm counting blessings. I made my own way, still they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through, so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half reppin'. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions.
This is some straight, hey.
This is, oh gosh.
Look how thin the smoke is.
Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. I can't name a thing that I didn't have step. From the streets to movie screens, been getting bags and checks. Hit the solid, you won't hit me with no bad rep. Legendary Crippin' made it happen, and that's on the set. Still rolling on gold things, I'm a boss.
Go get it. What the fuck you waiting on, man? Let's go.
Blaming on my mom from all the crippin' I see. Blaming on my grandpa, all the hustling.
Yes, sir.